Hello friends, now you all are welcome in this new lecture. This lecture also belongs to the same unit that is related to semiconductor physics. So in this lecture I am going to discuss with some properties related to extrinsic semiconductor, and in this lecture I will cover two main topics. That one is the law of mass action and conductivity variation in extrinsic semiconductor. So far we have discussed various properties related to intrinsic, that pure semiconductor, that carrier concentration, conductivity, and the variation of that carrier concentration as a function of time, and several derivation we have used especially for that intrinsic type semiconductors. But now we will discuss and observe that modification for extrinsic type semiconductor. So extrinsic, this is impure semiconductor, where we have these semiconductors in two categories. One is N-type and P-type semiconductors, and general classification and the formation of N-type and P-type semiconductors, these are not much difficult, and students are aware of these two topics, because this is also the part of that modern physics of 12th class. So but simple introductory part I will try to cover here for the further discussion. So we have two types of extrinsic semiconductor. One is N-type and second one is P-type, and this classification depends on the type of impurity or the type of dopant mixed in pure semiconductor. So the behavior of that pure and that extrinsic semiconductor, this depends on the material, that the covalent bond between atoms. So for example, in pure semiconductor, if we take that the example of silicon in general, then we have the central atom of silicon with 4 valence electrons. Valence of this is tetravalent material, and we will think about that 4 neighboring silicon atoms, and these are that neighboring atoms. So this is a simple schematic diagram of pure intrinsic semiconductor, where this one is the center one, silicon atoms having these 4 valence electrons, and these are four neighboring silicon atoms with same numbers of valence electrons. And we just think about this sharing of this electrons and formation of this covalent bond between 2 silicon atoms. So one silicon atom is connected with 4 neighboring silicon atoms by covalent bond, and this is the pure type semiconductor. With the thermal excitation, any of this electron just release from this bond, and the bond is broken, then this electron is free, one vacancy is created here. So that's why we just talk about that the total numbers of holes and the total numbers of electrons, these are equal in intrinsic type semiconductor. But when we dope this P-type when we dope that materials in place of this central silicon, and if that material is pentatype, then we have pentavalent material, then we will have N-type semiconductor. And if we have trivalent dopant material, then we will have this P-type semiconductor. So simple formation of N-type semiconductor is can be understood by this the same diagram, by replacing this phosphorus. This is a pentavalent type material, where we have 5 valence electrons. These are the 5 valence electrons. Out of these 5 valence electrons, 4 valence electrons are connected with 4 silicon atoms, and this is connected with 4 silicon atoms. So are the okay. So 4 valence bands we have, covalent bands we have with silicon atoms, and 1 electron is free here, which is loosely bound with this phosphorus atom, and with very small amount of energy, it is free to move, and the conductivity is because of this this electron. That's why this is known as N-type semiconductor. And similarly, for P-type semiconductor, we will have aluminum here. So in case of P-type semiconductor, what we think, this is the central atom, that is aluminum, where we have 3 valence electrons in the outermost orbit, and which is shared by this silicon atoms, and 3 covalent bonds are here, and 1 place is empty here, which is actually represented as hole. So one vacancy is here, and this is hole, and for conductivity of this P-type semiconductor, this hole is responsible, and the one electron jumps from neighboring electron jump from one place to this hole, and that because of moment of this hole, conductivity of this P-type semiconductor increases. So as far as that band structure is concerned, we can explain this P-type and N-type semiconductor in detail. So if we have this band structure, and this is that valence band, and this is the conduction band. This is conduction band, and at 0 Kelvin, all electrons, this valence band is filled with completely filled with electrons, and this is totally empty. So this is for the this is for extrinsic as well as intrinsic semiconductor. This is true also for N-type and P-type semiconductor. At 0 Kelvin, this valence band is completely fixed. It is full of electrons. So when we dope any foreign atom, just we will talk about this N-type semiconductor. When we dope some foreign atom like phosphorus, arsenic, pentavalent material, then these dopant atoms are accumulated here, or one separate energy level can be shown here for that dopant atoms, and these are phosphorus atoms. And as far as that energy is concerned, this energy, it is known as Ef, the valence energy level, and this is the bottom of that conduction band. It is represented by Ec, and this can be represented as Ed, and D stands for, here this D stands for donor. Why this is known as a donor? Let us see. So this is the inert neutral phosphorus atom. When temperature increases, then these phosphorus atoms get ionized, and after ionization, one electron of this outermost orbit of this phosphorus jumps from this energy level Ed to this conduction band. So this is the formation of bands, formation of ions. Now these are inert, and these are now positive ions. These are positive ions, and here these are the electrons which have been transferred from these atoms. So free electrons are there, and numbers of these electrons, that carrier concentration. So we can also show this behavior, this phenomena with that carrier concentration diagram. Let us have log of n is the number of electrons per unit volume. So this is the carrier concentration with 1 upon T. So this is the temperature, inverse of temperature. So as temperature increases, this phosphorus atom get ionized, and this electrons transfer from this energy level to this conduction band. So in the plot we can represent like this. So as this is in inverse, so increasing temperature, here the temperatures are increasing in this direction. So this is 1 upon T. So as temperature increases, the N carrier concentration increases. After a certain state of time, we have, this is there are 3 regions. This is region number 1, this is region number 2, and this is region number 3. So in the first region, the phosphorus atoms are getting ionized, and during this ionization process, we have that numbers of electrons are increasing up to this. When this temperature becomes about 100 Kelvin, almost all of the atoms, phosphorus atoms, become ionized. So one saturation condition occurs, and this is that plot where there is no variation in the carrier concentration. So one plateau region is here, and this is known as the saturation region, or also this is known as depletion region. So this is either saturation because this numbers of electrons get saturated. That's why this is the saturation region. And after this region, when we cross from this region number 2 to region number 3, and we further increase the temperature, then the electrons from this valence band starts jumping to this energy level. So now we have some more electrons, and these electrons are because of whole electron pair generation, and these are the electrons, and there will be holes. So these are the holes created, and the electrons are generated. So at the conduction band, we have two types of electrons. One, these electrons which are transferred from these dopant atoms, and second electrons which has been created with the temperature from this valence band to transferred from valence band to conduction band. So here one can see numbers of electrons are much more than the numbers of holes. That's why in case of N-type semiconductor. So this let me complete this figure. So when temperature further increases, these numbers of electrons increases like this, and in this region, this is known as extrinsic region. So this is extrinsic region, and after this particular temperature, after this depletion region, after this saturation condition, these numbers of electrons increases because of generation of this whole electron pairs, and now that it is this region is known as intrinsic region, because the behavior of the semiconductor just become the behavior of this semiconductor just like intrinsic type semiconductor. So up to this temperature, that semiconductor, that N-type semiconductor behave like N-type semiconductor, that extrinsic semiconductor, and after this temperature, that semiconductor behave like that intrinsic type semiconductor. So one can say we have the concept of majority and minority charge carriers. So up to this n numbers of electrons are more than the numbers of holes, and after this, that numbers of electrons and holes can be compared as in our intrinsic type semiconductor. So now let us talk about that P-type semiconductor, the same behavior. So in P-type semiconductor, we will have the behavior will be like this. So here in P-type semiconductor, again we will talk about that Venn diagram, and this is that valence band at 0 Kelvin. This is full of electrons, bonded electrons, and this is the empty conduction band at 0 Kelvin. And then now the dopant level, that is somewhere here near about this valence band. So in case of N-type semiconductor, this dopant level, that is it have near about the conduction band, and in P-type semiconductor, this is near this. And in the first case, it is donor level because the electrons are donated by the atom, and here this is represented by EA, which is acceptor level. So this is acceptor, A stands for acceptor, and this is EC, and this is EV, and dopant material is atoms are aluminium. So these are the inert aluminium atoms. So initially, this is the diagram, and there is no conductivity because there is no free electrons or holes in this case at 0 Kelvin. As temperature increases, the electrons of this valence band start jumping and interacted with these aluminum atoms, and now electrons from this level, this energy level, electrons are jumping from this level to here, and when this atom of aluminum absorbs that electron and become ionized. So now this is with aluminum negative ions. So these are now negative ions. So behavior is same. So initially here the holes are created. These are the holes. Holes are created because this is the absence of electrons, and electrons are being transferred from valence band to these atoms and creating aluminum ions. So behavior is same. This is for number of holes, log P. So initially, as temperature increases, numbers of electrons jumping from this level to this is increases, and this is that curve, similar. After certain initial time, almost all atoms get ionized, and this saturation region will be created, and the same, this is saturation region, and numbers of holes are here, and log P is there. And after certain temperature, after this, in this third region, the electrons of this start jump to this conduction band, and here these are the electrons, and these are the holes. So numbers of holes are majority in majority here, and the numbers of electrons are lesser. So number of holes P is much greater than N in case of this p-type semiconductor, and this is the mechanism, and this is the corresponding diagram. So after this temperature, this is because of electron hole pair generation, and the semiconductor will behave just like intrinsic type semiconductor. So as far as the conductivity is concerned, so let us use some terminology used in extrinsic type semiconductor. We have some terms like this. So N means number of electrons in N-type semiconductor. This is number of electrons in N-type semiconductor, and NPN, this is number of holes in N-type semiconductor. Remember this N and P, these are electrons and holes, and this N stands for N-type semiconductor. And similarly, if we take this NP means numbers of electrons in P-type semiconductor, and this PP, this is number of holes in P-type semiconductor. So we have to use these notations. N means numbers of electrons in N-type semiconductor, Pn numbers of holes in N-type semiconductor. Similarly, this NP and N. So in this case, numbers of electrons in this is P-type semiconductor. So numbers of electrons, numbers of holes in P-type semiconductor is greater than numbers of electrons in P-type semiconductor. So let us try to calculate that law of mass action. So let us see let us try to derive this law of mass action. And initially we have completed this. We have performed the same for intrinsic type semiconductor. So in intrinsic semiconductor, we have this taken N is equivalent to P is equivalent to Ni, where N is number of the carrier concentration in conduction band, and P is the carrier concentration in valence band, and we have this N is equivalent to Nc exponential of minus this is conduction band, so this is Ec minus Ef by Kt, and this P, this is equivalent to Nv, it is equal to, that is Ef minus Ev by Kt. And by putting this, and we have calculated this Ni, this is equivalent to root of Nc Nv and exponential of minus Ez by 2 kT. This we have derived for intrinsic type semiconductor earlier, and we will try to recalculate this for n type and p type semiconductors. So in n type semiconductor, in extrinsic semiconductor, so let's say first in n type, where electrons are in majority, so numbers of electrons in n type semiconductor, this is equal to, obviously this is corresponding to mainly conduction band, so this NC exponential of EC minus EF by KT, and PN is equal to, this will be NV exponential of EF minus EV by KT. In n-type semiconductor, this is corresponding to conduction band, and this is obviously corresponding to valence band. So this NC and NV will be used here. So NN multiplied by PN can be written as equivalent to NC NV and exponential of so this is with minus sign and this is with plus sign, so this will be cancelled out, and this is equal to EC minus EV by KT, and this is equal to NC NV multiplied by exponential of EG by KT, where this EG is equivalent to EC minus EV. This is the band gap, this is the gap between energy at conduction lowest energy at conduction band and highest energy in valence band. And one can write this is equal to Nn multiplied by Pn, it is equivalent to Ni square. So where this is Ni, and one can compare this with this. So this Nn multiplied by Pn is equivalent to Ni square. And similarly, we will have for p-type semiconductor, p-type semiconductor, this Pn, number of holes, and Pp. So this is concentration of holes at p-type semiconductor, that will be at valence band. So that is equal to Nv exponential of again EF minus EV by KT, and that is Np, it is equivalent to Nc multiplied by exponential of EC minus EF by KT. By similar calculation we can perform, and this Pp multiplied by Np, this is equivalent to Nx. So what we are observing here, the multiplication of this carrier concentration at n-type semiconductor, as well as that multiplication of that majority and minority carrier concentration at p-type semiconductor, these are constant because this N square is constant at a particular temperature for a particular that energy gave EF. So the multiplication of carrier majority and minority charge carrier is a constant in semiconductor, and this is known as law of mass acceleration. So this is very important property, and this is known as law of mass action. And one last thing we have to cover is that charge neutrality condition. So charge neutrality condition. Obviously, semiconductors are neutral in general. N-type semiconductor means not that it is negatively charged, or P-type semiconductor means not that it is positively charged. No, semiconductors are neutral in behavior at a specific temperature. So why that semiconductor is neutral? Because total amount of that negative charge is identical to total amount of positive charge. So as far as that N-type semiconductor is concerned, so for N-type semiconductor, what we are observing, we have two types of electrons. One because of one which is generated by that whole electrons pair generation mechanism, and second one which is donated by that dopants, that just like phosphorus type materials. So the total number of electrons that is in N-type semiconductor, that will be N. N stands for type of semiconductor, so N. This is now negatively charged electrons. So this is equal to the total number of positive species. So positive species present there are those positive ions, as well as holes, which are actually assumed to be positive, which is taken as a positive. So the numbers of holes in valence band, that is Pn, P for hole and N is for N-type semiconductor, plus this Nd, this is the dopant or that donor. So here this Nd is total number of positive dopants. So after a certain temperature, all the phosphorus atoms have become ionized. So these are positive ions, as well as these holes are positive ions, and the total positive ions are if equal to the total negative ions, then that semiconductor will be neutral. And in general, this Nn, it is much more than this Pn. That's why this Nn is taken nearly equal to Nd. It is taken as Nd. And if we use that law of mass action, so from law of mass action for this N-type semiconductor, this Nn multiplied by that Pn, it is equal to Ni square. And this Nn can be written as equivalent to this Nd multiplied by Pn. This is equivalent to Ni square. So one will have this Pn is equivalent to Ni square by Nd. This is for N-type semiconductor. And similarly for P-type semiconductor, what we have this in the P-type semiconductor, in place of this Nn, we will have this number of holes in P-type semiconductor, Pp, that is positively charged in form of holes, and this is equal to, this is given, this is generated by two phenomena. One because of that electron hole generation, pair generation process, as well as the second one is the attraction of the valence electrons by aluminum atoms, that trivalent atoms. So this is equal to that numbers of electrons in P-type semiconductors, that is in now the conduction band, plus these are negative charge, as well as Na. Na is the total number of acceptors, that is acceptor ions. So here Na is total number of acceptor ions, and that is actually negative ions. So this part is positive and this part is positive and these two parts are negative, and the semiconductor will be neutral if this is balanced, and here this PP, it is much greater than NP, so one can write this PP, it is nearly equal to NA. So again we will use from the law of mass action. One can write this, we have this PP multiplied by NP, it is equal to Ni square. These are for positive and that poles. So this PP is equal to Na, so Na multiplied by Np, it is equal to Ni square, and this Np can be written as equal to Ni square by Na. So this is the relation, neutrality condition for p-type semiconductor, and this is for n-type semiconductor. Anyway, so also we can discuss about the conductivity of this n-type and p-type semiconductor, and obviously, so the conductivity, so this conductivity is because of that majority charge carriers in general, and we should have that plot of carrier concentration here at a different temperature. So this is that log of n or p, and pi 1 by t, and we have divided this is in two regions. This is region number 1, and this is region number 2. So this is region 1, this is region number 2, and this is region number 3. And as per our previous discussion in this same lecture, initially at 0 Kelvin there is no carrier concentration, is 0, and as temperature increases the carrier concentration increases, and this is because of that ionization process. So this is ionization region, and after complete ionization, when saturated saturation region is here. And why? Because 100% of atoms, either trivalent or pentavalent atoms, get ionized, and after this, in the third region, that generation of electron hole pair started, and that carrier concentration increases like this. So this two regions, these are the extrinsic region, and this is purely intrinsic region, because here that semiconductor we have like intrinsic pure type semiconductor where total number of electrons and holes are identical at specific after a particular temperature, that is threshold temperature. So now I am using the same plot for the conductivity log sigma with temperature. So initially, as carrier concentration increases, the conductivity will increase, because we have this formula that conductivity sigma is equal to n E multiplied by mu. Mu is the mobility, and n is the carrier concentration. So as carrier concentration increases, conductivity will increase. So for n-type semiconductor, where total number of electrons in n-type semiconductor is much greater than total number of holes in this. So one can write this sigma n, it is equivalent to n mu n. For p-type semiconductor, p-type semiconductor, this PP is much greater than NP. So this conductivity sigma p, it is equivalent to PP multiplied by charge, and this is mu p. So this is for p-type semiconductor, and this is for n-type semiconductor. So here in this region, that conductivity is either because of n or either because of p, depending on the types of semiconductor. So this will increase like this. In the second region, the conductivity decreases slightly, and the reason is because here that carrier concentration is not increasing, but because of increase in the temperature, there will be collision between holes or collision between electrons. So because of that collision, that conductivity may decrease, and after crossing the second region, again this conductivity increase like this. And this is because that the semiconductor is now behaving like intrinsic semiconductor. So this is intrinsic conductivity, and here the electrons and holes both are equally importance, and that conductivity sigma, that can be written as equivalent to sigma that Ni mu E plus mu H multiplied by charge in this region here, and here either this or this, because depending on type of semiconductor. And in the second region this will decrease like this. And here one can get one can calculate that forbidden energy gap, and calculate that slope can be equal to that minus Ez by 2kT. This is equal to minus Ez by 2k, whereas here that slope, this is equal to minus EC, the conduction band, minus upon ED, if we are talking about that donor type semiconductor, means entire semiconductor, by K. There is no T terminal, by K. So this is the conductivity for pure, and this, and for pure semiconductor we will have sigma I is equivalent to that NIE multiplied by mu E plus mu H. Anyway, so this is the description of conductivity as well as the law of mass action, and one more thing I have included here, that is the general description of p-type and n-type semiconductor. Thank you all. So enjoy learning.